Hi there, welcome to today's vlog. Welcome to a new year and happy new decade as well. This marks my third decade on YouTube, although the first one was from 2007 to 2009. No idea how to use YouTube. I would say the first half of the last decade really didn't know how to use YouTube. Hopefully in the last half of the decade from 2016 onwards, I figured out how to use YouTube, because certainly the subscribers have gone up. We've nearly reached 2 million views on this channel, which is just remarkable. Especially the second million has happened in so much less time than the first million. So thank you very much for all being there. Approaching the 10,000 subscriber mark, which is even more incredible. If you don't already, please do hit the subscribe button, give this video a like if you can, and we're going to carry on talking about goals in just 1 second. Thank you to all of those of you who have put comments on after my last vlog. As I explained in the last vlog, things in 2019, the first half was phenomenal. Went to the Selma factory, made some more war videos, but went to Sios, did the best saxophone mouthpiece ever videos with you guys. We did the DF Blues Challenge. Lots and lots of really, really good stuff. In early 2019, really setting it off. And then, as I explained in the last vlog, second half of 2019, it was horrible, really. And through it, and going into 2020 with a much more positive attitude, had a great time over Christmas and New Year with the kids. They've been making their own YouTube videos.
And we're in Hide and Seek Extreme today, and today I'm being joined by...
Now, I don't kind of get why people sit there and watch other people playing computer games, but that's why I'm a dad now and not a kid and not in with it. Maybe why I don't have the millions of views that they will probably end up with and the millions of subscribers. But let's talk today about the new year and goal settings. Now, one of the things I do every single year with my saxophone students in the first lesson in January is we sit down, and if they're a new student, we go through a whole set of new goals. But if they're a student who's been with me for a while, and thankfully most of my students are now kind of into their third, fourth, fifth, some of them into their 10th or 11th year of lessons with me, we sit down and we go through, and I ask them, and the first thing I ask them is, what's your dream goal? So if we were living in that bit in the Matrix where Trinity needs to learn to fly the helicopter, and they say, can you fly the helicopter? She says, not yet. They give her a program and boom, she can fly the helicopter. That's the kind of dream goal I'm talking about. So maybe it's you've only just started playing, but you really want to get on stage and play with Bruce Springsteen, or you kind of want to play the Village Vanguard, or you want to play the Blue Note or Ronnie Scott's, or those kind of ideas. They're the good dream goals to have. They're the goals that, dream, forget about reality, just dream. But from that I say, okay, well, what's your 10-year goal? If the dream was a possibility of happening, even just the tiniest remote, where would you need to be in 10 years in order to achieve that goal? And then we dial back and we say, okay, well, if you want to be at that place in 10 years, where do you need to be in 5 years? And often as a teacher, that's when my input becomes more important, because I kind of know where you need to be in order to reach that 10-year goal. And then we say, okay, where do you need to be in 2 years? Where do you need to be in a year? Where do you need to be in 6 months? In order to get to where you want to be in 6 months, where do you need to be in 3 months, 1 month, a week, that kind of thing. And that's really, really important. There was a great thing I used on a lesson on Cambridge Saxophone, and by the way, if you haven't already been to Cambridge Saxophone, 4 free saxophone lessons available to you on the Cambridge Saxophone website below. And one of the things I said was a quote from Denzel Washington, where he said, dreams without goals ultimately lead to disappointment and frustration. And it's so important that if you've got a dream and you've got a thing you really want to be able to do, for example, I guess if you're watching this channel, playing the saxophone or playing a musical instrument, then having goals is so, so, so important. And quick little plug, this is why I was so keen to get the practice planner out earlier this year. And of course, as I said, because of personal circumstances, it hasn't quite come out exactly as I wanted. But a number of you have got this, and they are still available. Down below, you can order today, and I will get them out to you within a few days. I'm posting all over the world as well. And if you're in certain areas of the world, I'm posting them at a loss. But anyway, this is what I had in November, and if you've already got the practice planner, this is where you really need to tune in. This is what I was saying. From September to December, I wasn't going to put too much in because I wanted you to find your own way around it. This is kind of what I've done for November, and you'll see here I've got my goals. I've only done 2 goals because I didn't get through it, but look what I've done on the practice thing, crossing off each day. Now, I mentioned this a few years ago when I was doing consecutive days of practice. Ideally, I want to do consecutive days, but I didn't. But if you've managed to do consecutive days, you're going to get a much clearer idea, especially over 3 or 4 months from September to December, what are you actually likely to practice? You know, over 3 months, you've got a better idea of realistically what you can achieve in your practice versus what you would like to achieve in your practice. That should then inform what you're doing in your goals. So for example, if you want to have a better sound, your goal shouldn't be to go down the music shop, try every single mouthpiece in the shop. Your goal should be to play some long tones. Hey presto, there's a long tones ebook for you. If you want to get better at soloing, if you want to learn better vocabulary, then go and learn some bebop tunes. There's a course on Cambridge Saxophone, the A to Z of bebop, where I take you through 20 different bebop tunes in alphabetical order. We couldn't find one for Z, or Z, if where you are in the world, but learn some bebop tunes. And by learning, I mean not by reading them. I mean memorizing those bebop heads. It's so important. There's so much rich vocabulary within those bebop heads that are going to enable you to have a better vocabulary when you're soloing. If you want to sound more like Sonny Rollins or you want to sound more like Stan Getz, go and transcribe some of their material. Saying you want to copy Stan Getz's setup and thinking you're suddenly going to be able to play like Stan Getz is it's like, you know, like they say, being born in a stable doesn't make you a horse. It's, you know, you've got to be able to listen and transcribe. And again, there's stuff on Cambridge Saxophone that can help you do that. But you set that within your goals. Your goals should be, so for example, let's use that Stan Getz analogy. You want to play more like Stan Getz. You need to, first of all, go and listen to more Stan Getz. So there's Stan Getz playlists on the Cambridge Saxophone website, and you'll find lots and lots of other Stan Getz playlists. Get listening to Stan Getz every single day, really listening, getting the headphones on, blocking everything else out and really listening. But also transcribing some Stan Getz. You know, start with Girl from Ipanema, as I do with my students, and just learn that solo on the Girl from Ipanema. It's a beautiful, beautiful solo. And it's not easy. But the thing that puts most people off transcribing is not having the skills and the understanding of how to go about transcribing, and hopefully a good teacher can show you how to do that. So in summary, in terms of today's thing, you know, the practice planner is a really, really, really good tool to enable you to set the goals, but ultimately you've got to do the goals yourself, okay? You've got to be able to pull them through. But these 3 goals that are monthly goals should form part of a yearly goal. And that yearly goal should point you towards a 2-year goal, which should point you towards a 5-year goal, which should point you towards a 10-year goal, which should ultimately be enabling you to achieve your dreams. It's that sad part of every year where it's time to pack away the Christmas decorations. We showed you putting them up, so I guess it's only right that we pack them away in the vlog as well. Don't go in the puddle with it.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten.
Now, I want to take the drone out with me this afternoon. One of the things I have to do now, since the 1st of December, is have a drone license, which I've taken on the Civil Aviation Authority website here in the UK. But what I haven't done since I took the license is to label up my drone. So what I need to do is put my owner, pilot, whatever thing, identification onto the drone. So what I need to do is put my operator ID on the drone. Some people were saying about labels. I'm going to stick it in and big. Write it directly onto the drone with a Sharpie pen. So I can now go and legally fly the drone, and we're going to go to Hemmingford Grey, which is where we used to live, where we spent New Year's with some friends, and we've left some of our wardrobe behind. So this is St James's Church in Hemmingford Grey, where Charlie was baptised when he was a little baby, and it's also where I recorded my album Fruits, where I basically locked the doors in this church for 5 hours and just played, and then edited it all together into solo saxophone.
What are you doing?
One of my big personal targets for 2020 is to get back into some new repertoire, one of them being that Stevie Wonder song made famous by Michael Jackson. It's actually a video on Twitter floating around of Branford playing it the other night. And also to get back into composing. I really want to do another album. I haven't done an album since 2016. It's been 4 years. It'll be 4 years this summer since I released Jazz Vespers. And I've got that itch again, but I need to do something different. And my idea is to involve you guys within that as well. So whilst there will be some kind of album recording, I want to do it a little bit like I've seen the likes of Bob Reynolds and Yannick Westdala and those kind of guys, where they invite an audience in and it's filmed for YouTube. Because I've still got in the region of 300 CDs that came with me from the old house to this house, and I don't really want to be carting around endless amounts of CDs with me as I move into a new decade, because CDs are pretty much obsolete. Perhaps people will in 20 years time gather around CDs and talk about the fidelity of the sound, much like people do about vinyl these days. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's vlog. It's been a longer one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something from it with the goal setting, and I will see. I've got loads of stuff. I've got about 4 packages sat on top of the piano behind me, or behind you I should say, that need to be reviewed in the next few weeks, so make sure you're subscribing and stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.